Natalie Burton recently moved into a new apartment in Cave Creek, Arizona. The apartment complex wasn't a huge one, but the good news was that it had special amenities, or in other words, it was a smart apartment. And better yet, it was pet-friendly, so Natalie could bring along her buddy Pip. But over the first week of moving in, Natalie started to notice something strange about Pip. Natalie would find Pip barking at the closed door inside her apartment in the middle of the night, or fighting with the curtains in the dark until he got tangled up. Pip would bark on and on, staring into the empty hall. "What is it, Pip? What's wrong? What's bothering you, buddy? Are you hungry? How about your favorite chew toy? A game of fetch?" Pip ignored Natalie and continued barking. Natalie was shocked. Pip never refused to play with her. Suddenly, she heard a noise from the living room. Natalie slowly walked down the hall. She widened her eyes, seeing the TV turn on and off by itself, until it malfunctioned and turned off in totality. This wasn't the first time something had malfunctioned in the apartment before. Sometimes the electric stove turned on by itself. Sometimes the shower water turned to boiling hot right in the middle of Natalie's showers. There were numerous electrical problems with all the devices. A chill ran down Natalie's spine. What was going on? She turned to look at Pip. When she thought she saw something move in her bedroom, Natalie's heart started to beat. She wasn't someone that was superstitious. But then again, what did she just see? Natalie walked towards her door. The lights were off. She looked inside and could vaguely make out a dark figure. With her trembling hands, Natalie patted the wall and turned on the lights. She let out a breath of relief when she saw her bedroom empty. It was on the following evening that Natalie was arranging her apartment. She was taking out the trash when suddenly the door across from hers opened. Natalie found herself staring at a man. He had golden blonde hair, his eyes dazzled blue. He was tall and good-looking. Natalie wouldn't deny that she was instantly attracted to this handsome man. Natalie put on her flirty smile and was about to introduce herself when a young woman walked up behind him. "Who's at the door, Claude?" Claude didn't reply to her. Instead, he kept staring at Natalie with a strange look on his face. Nora came forward. "Hi, you must be the new neighbor. I'm Nora, and this is my boyfriend, Claude." The smirk on Natalie's face turned to an awkward smile. She laughed it off and said, "Hello, I'm Natalie." "Welcome to the neighborhood," Claude said. Natalie was about to shake hands with Claude when her puppy Pip ran out the door and started barking aggressively at him. "Not again, Pip." Claude started to get a little annoyed. Natalie tried to calm Pip down, but Pip wouldn't stop. "I thought golden retrievers were non-aggressive." "He usually doesn't behave like this." "What's gotten into you, boy?" "Maybe he's just not used to the new surrounding." "I think I'll take him for a walk. See you around, Claude." Natalie smiled at Claude and waved at Nora as she went back inside. Over the next few days, Natalie looked forward to meeting Claude. She looked for every chance to talk to him. But Claude wasn't so into her. He was rather quiet and stern, which made him even more desirable. Unfortunately, Nora always came in the way, so Natalie decided to invite both of them over. Claude usually always refused, and the only time he did accept the invitation for a cup of coffee, Pip came in the way and started going crazy. Pip didn't like Claude at all. Pip always barked whenever Claude was around. Nora, however, often visited Natalie's apartment by herself, the time which Natalie used to know more about Claude. "I got this apartment through my job. I recently got hired at a tech company here. I thought the neighborhood was great and the apartment was well furnished. I immediately accepted the offer. What about you? And Claude? What does Claude do?" "I have a small boutique.
And Claude is a technician at BII Electronics.
Wow, lucky, looks and money. You got yourself the perfect man. Oh, so you have your eyes on Claude too. Natalie felt a little awkward at first, until she saw the smirk on Nora's face. Natalie was surprised. Nora wasn't jealous or possessive. Did she want to? Feeling a little uncomfortable, Natalie changed the topic. Talk about electronics. I'm kind of getting a little fed up with all that's been happening in here. What? Are you having problems with the appliances? No, it's not that. Leave it. It's nothing. Just a silly paranoia. No one would believe me anyway. Maybe I just need a break from work. I was planning on visiting a friend tomorrow evening. Hey, could you take care of Pip for me tomorrow? Just for a few hours. Sure, no problem. After a lot of gossip, Nora left for the night. The night passed by peacefully and the next morning went by as usual. Nora came over later that day to pick up Pip. When they left, Natalie hopped into the shower, only having to jump out moments later due to the sudden boiling water. The bathroom was fogged up with steam. Natalie was searching for the door when she squinted her eyes at the mirror. Natalie stumbled back in horror. Was she hallucinating? Her mind was playing tricks on her. She was just stressed out. This couldn't be real. Just then, Natalie bumped her head on something in the fog and fell unconscious to the floor. She woke up to a knock on her door. She had tremendous pain in her head. She scrambled up from the bathroom floor and checked her phone. It was 10 p.m. She was passed out for hours. Natalie ran to the door. It was Nora and Pip. You're finally home? I've been waiting for hours.
Pip's been acting up since Claude came home from work.
He's getting a little hard to handle. Nora stepped inside. She noticed the bruise on Natalie's forehead and the anxious look on her face. Hey, what's wrong? Is everything okay? Natalie told Nora everything that had been happening since she moved here. I don't know what to believe anymore. Could this place really be haunted? Nora widened her eyes. She looked around the apartment nervously. Well, the people who offered you the deal on this apartment kept something hidden from you. Someone had passed away in here before. Who? Do you know something about that person? Yes, I actually do. The truth is, this used to be Claude's apartment. He lived here with his wife before she passed away from an accidental electrical malfunction in here. She was electrocuted. Claude was a changed man after that. He was suffering from depression. I used to know the couple, and I often came over to support Claude through his emotional trauma. We never expected things to turn out the way they did. We fell in love, but Claude was still having a tough time living here. His late wife's memory still haunted him. He couldn't get over it as long as he was here, so I told him to move in with me. Life can be tough. I hope I can fill that gap Claude has in his heart. Natalie furrowed her brows. Oh, she said, looking at Nora's panicked face. Just then, the two held their ears to a loud, blasting noise in the kitchen, as if something had exploded. The lights were flickering ominously. All the electrical appliances started turning on and off, and Pip was barking louder than ever. Natalie was shocked. What is going on? She yelled. Nora suddenly fell to her knees. She started to cry. Forgive me, Chelsea. Please forgive me. Natalie was thundered seeing Nora so devastated. What are you saying, Nora? Who's Chelsea? Nora sobbed as she spoke through her tears. It was me. I was the reason all this happened. Claude and I didn't get together after Chelsea's death. We had a secret affair. Claude was cheating on Chelsea with me. When our relationship started to get serious, I kept urging Claude to leave Chelsea, but he wouldn't listen to me. I felt betrayed and humiliated. I started to doubt if he was just using me. That's when I started to blackmail him. I told him I'd tell Chelsea everything. He only threatened me back, saying if I did anything like that, he would leave me forever as well. We would never be together. I couldn't let things go like that. I plotted against Chelsea. I wanted her out of the picture. The accident wasn't an accident. The apartment fell quiet. Natalie stood up. Suddenly, she started to chuckle. "Thank you, Nora. That's all I needed to know." Natalie walked to the camcorder she set up in the bookshelf. Everything had been recorded. Nora was shocked. "Who are you?" she demanded to know. Natalie and Chelsea were best friends since their first year at college. They were so close, some even thought they were sisters. However, after they graduated, they started to meet less often. It was during this time that Chelsea got married. It was a spontaneous wedding. When Natalie found out, she was surprised that she wasn't invited. But then again, no one was. About a year later, Natalie got the heartbreaking news of Chelsea's accidental death. She dearly missed her friend. She couldn't understand how it all happened. But the day she found out that Chelsea's husband had suddenly sold their apartment and was in a relationship with another woman soon after her death, Natalie became suspicious. She had always had her doubts about this man from the start. "Look here, Pip. This man is a bad man." "Good boy, Pip. Again." Natalie didn't work here. She didn't get this apartment through her job. She purposefully rented Chelsea's apartment to get to the end of what happened to her. The only reason she tried to flirt with Claude was to check if he was truly someone who would cheat. If he could cheat once, he would cheat again. But when Claude didn't pay her any heed, Natalie started to doubt her suspicions. She also realized there was something wrong with the apartment, but she wasn't prepared to believe that there could be anything supernatural. During this time, Natalie was conversing with Nora. Perhaps she would spill something. And she did. Natalie smirked. "I'm your worst nightmare. You'll never get away with what you did." Just then, the door creaked open. Claude stepped inside. He folded his arms and raised his brow. "Yes, she is going to get away with it. Nobody is going to do anything to my sweetheart. I knew you might come." Chelsea often used to mention a best friend she had. Her overly smart best friend, Natalie. "There's one thing you didn't think out. There's already been one death in this apartment before. It won't be hard to make that happen again. And here's the catch. No one will be suspicious. Because, well, this apartment does have some issues with electricity, doesn't it now, Nora?" Nora stood up beside Claude. "No, you wicked people can't do anything to me. You won't get away with this." The police arrived moments after a fire had been reported. They found 2 people lifeless in an apartment on the 3rd floor. A woman named Natalie Burton had been saved in a horrible electrical accident that had occurred. How did this all happen? "Officer, this apartment has always had issues with electricity. The appliances never seem to work properly. When I told my neighbor, Nora, about the issue, she brought over her boyfriend Claude. Claude was a technician. Nora said he might be able to fix the problem. When Claude was working on the oven, there was a sudden electrical flare. When Nora saw what happened, she went to pull Claude away, but she too got electrocuted. Everything overpowered and burst after that. I didn't know what to do. I called the police immediately, but it was too late." The paramedics took out the remains of Claude and Nora. Natalie looked around. The apartment was ruined. Everything was burnt out, broken, destroyed. Natalie stood there in awe. She sighed. "I came here for justice, Chelsea, but it was you who saved my life instead." "No, you wicked people can't do anything to me. You won't get away with this." Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.